Hey everyone, and welcome to the weekly podcast with Alexander and Ava.
Ever get the feeling like you're just kind of skimming the surface?
Mm-hmm.
You know, in some of your relationships. Like you're not quite hitting that deep connection.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think a lot of us feel that way. In fact,
Sure.
you sent us this guide called A Short Guide to Building Deeper Connections.
Right.
And you're looking for takeaways.
Yeah,
Like, how do we actually do this?
exactly.
How do we move past the small talk and,
Yeah.
the day-to-day stuff and really connect?
Yeah.
And, turns out this guide has some pretty powerful ideas in it.
Really interesting stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised
Yes.
by some of the stuff I was reading.
Yeah.
And we're going to dive deep into it today.
Awesome.
So, one of the things that this guide starts with
Okay.
is active listening.
Great.
Now, I know what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We hear about active listening all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like, oh, be an active listener. But,
Like everybody says it.
yeah, everyone says it.
Right.
But this guide takes it a step further.
It does.
So it talks about not just hearing the words,
Okay.
but reflecting the emotions
Yeah.
that are behind the words.
That's really key.
So I have to say,
Yeah.
sometimes I struggle with this.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think I'm nodding along. I think
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Right.
But am I really absorbing what the other person's feeling?
Right.
You
Are you connecting with that?
Yeah.
With that emotional piece?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
why is that so important?
Well, I think it's important because it shows that you're not just present physically, you're also present emotionally.
Okay.
And, think about a time when you really felt heard by somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Like they really got you.
Like deep down.
Deep down. And
Yeah.
didn't that make you feel safe?
Yeah,
Didn't it make you feel like you could open up more?
it did.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it builds trust.
absolutely.
Like you said,
Right?
they get me.
Yeah.
And I can trust them.
It's like that friend who
Yeah.
just gets you.
Yeah.
You don't even have to explain it.
And that actually leads us to the next point,
Okay.
because the guide then talks about vulnerability and empathy.
Absolutely.
And I'm kind of curious,
Yeah.
how are those two connected?
Well, I think vulnerability is really the key
Oh.
that unlocks the door to empathy.
Interesting.
So when you're willing to share your imperfections, it gives the other person permission to do the same.
I see.
It's like you're extending an invitation.
Right.
You're saying, hey, it's okay to not be perfect here.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect either.
Yeah. And that's huge.
And when you have that shared vulnerability,
Right.
that's when you can really build trust.
Yeah.
And that's where that beautiful exchange of empathy can happen.
I see. So
Yeah.
it's reciprocal empathy.
Right.
You feel seen.
Yes.
They feel seen
Absolutely.
and understood.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
It's not just, one person being vulnerable.
Yeah.
It's both people.
It's both.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got
Yeah.
active listening,
Right.
vulnerability,
Uh-huh.
empathy.
Yeah. So,
Now,
Yeah.
the guide brings up something else
all right.
that I think is super interesting.
Okay.
And that is this idea of consistency
Yes.
and shared moments.
Yes.
Now, how
Right.
do those two things fit in?
Yeah. Well, think about it like this.
Okay.
Imagine you have a plant
Okay.
that you really care about.
Right.
You wouldn't just water it once
Right.
and expect it to thrive.
No.
You have to water it regularly.
Right.
You have to give it sunlight.
Yeah.
Relationships are kind of the same way.
That's a good analogy.
Consistency is like that regular watering.
I see.
You're showing up for someone
Right.
through the good times,
Yeah.
through the bad times.
Yeah.
And when you add in shared moments on top of that,
Yeah.
like maybe you try a new recipe together, or you have a really deep conversation, you're not just connecting,
Yeah.
you're building a history together.
You're creating memories.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those shared experiences, that's what deepens the connection.
So it's not about these big, grand gestures.
Right.
It's the little things.
It's the everyday stuff.
Yeah.
The consistency.
the consistency that really
Yeah.
makes a difference.
Absolutely.
And that leads to another interesting point
Okay.
in the guide, which is this idea of
Okay.
asking deep questions,
Interesting.
but also respecting boundaries.
Yeah.
So
That's a good one.
how do we balance those two?
Well, it's all about being mindful
Okay.
and respectful.
Okay.
Deep questions. Like,
Yeah. Give me an example.
like what are you most passionate about?
That's a good one.
Or what's one thing you wish you could change about the world?
Ooh. I like that.
These kinds of questions,
Yeah.
they can really unlock deeper layers of a person. They can.
Yeah. But you always want to be aware of their comfort level. So
Okay.
make it clear
Yeah.
that they don't have to answer if they don't want to.
Right, right.
You know, a simple question like, how can I support you best?
Oh, that's a good one.
Acknowledges their needs
Yeah.
while still showing that you care.
It's an invitation, but there's
Yeah.
no pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mhm.
the guide also mentions nonverbals
Right.
and expressing gratitude.
Yes,
Now, these can be easy to overlook,
they can.
but they seem to have a big impact.
Huge.
Why is that?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
A warm smile,
Mm-hmm.
genuine eye contact,
Yeah.
a heartfelt thank you.
Right.
These little gestures,
Yeah.
they speak volumes.
Yeah, they
They
can.
make people feel seen
They do.
and appreciated.
Yeah.
And when you get specific with your gratitude,
Uh-huh.
like, I really appreciate how you always make time for me.
Mm-hmm.
It reinforces positive behavior.
And it strengthens that bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just about the words.
It's not just about the words, it's also about how we say them.
right.
And those unspoken gestures.
Yeah.
That can be so powerful.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah.
Okay, so finally,
All right.
the guide emphasizes authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that so important?
Because real connection
Yeah.
can only happen when you're being your genuine self.
I see.
You know, trying to be someone you're not. It's like building a house on a shaky foundation.
That's a good analogy.
Eventually, it's going to crumble.
It could fall apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you show up authentically,
Okay.
you're inviting others to connect with the real you,
Right.
flaws and all.
The real you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how you build lasting connections.
So to recap,
Okay.
we've talked about active listening,
Mm-hmm.
being vulnerable and empathetic,
Yes.
showing up consistently,
Right.
creating those shared moments,
Uh-huh.
asking those meaningful questions,
Yeah.
but respecting boundaries,
Right.
using those non-negotiables,
Absolutely.
expressing gratitude,
Yes.
and most importantly, being authentic.
Yes.
That's a lot
It is a lot.
to take in.
But it's a journey,
It is a journey.
not a destination.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it all at once.
Yeah, and even small steps
Yeah.
can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
So as you go about your day today,
Okay.
think about one relationship you want to deepen.
Mm-hmm.
Choose one thing from this guide,
Okay.
just one small action,
One little thing.
and try it out.
Yeah.
You might be surprised
You might be.
at the impact it has.
It's amazing.
Thanks for diving deep with us,
Yeah, this was fun.
and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.